Brothers and sisters, greetings and peace be upon you. Salamun alaikum, shalom, bonjour, ya Ali, all the greetings in the world out there. I'm just going to test if my live feed is working because, excellent, okay, it's working. As I have promised you, my weekly show will continue on this very page every Sunday at 5 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time. And the aim from these programs is to, number one, raise awareness about what really lies within the books that form the violent Sharia law that lead to the beheading of our citizens and the innocents around the world. And also, we need to educate ourselves in what is harmful to us and our children, so that we may know how to take precaution when it comes to dealing with this ideology. It is not harmful to educate ourselves in what is harmful. It is wise for us to understand what exactly lies within these books. Now, many reformers are reformers because they are Muslim, not because they have actually spent a time studying within the seminaries. Not that it is a requirement that one needs to have some sort of degree in order to stand against ISIS, but I think the world we live in is more interested in stamped documents from radical institutes than the actual truth that lies within the very books. This here between my two hands is the manual for every single Muslim on the face of the earth. Every single Muslim believes in what I am holding between my two hands. They may indirectly or directly believe in it. Meaning we may have a minority of Muslims that say, well, we don't believe in all of this, but they believe in books that depend on sources from these four books. Firstly, we have the Holy Quran. The Holy Quran is the holy book for all of the Muslims around the world, regardless of denomination, sect or group. All Muslims believe in the Holy Quran. If someone does not believe in the Holy Quran, then they are not Muslim. They have to believe in the Holy Quran. We will not be interpreting the Holy Quran, but that will be a separate program. I have here 4 volumes of Sahih al-Bukhari. If you had watched my appearance on the Andrew Bolt show, you would have seen that I had brought one of these volumes and I read from the volume, I referred to one of the volume, to what was written in one of the volumes. And it was very shocking for the nation as to what exactly lies within these books. The ABC Media Watch turned around and said, the statements of Imam Tawhidi are plain crazy. Well, I guess they're just proving our point, that indeed, what lays within these books and leads to our deaths is plain crazy. The problem is, you do not have access to these books. The problem is, even if you had access to these books, you would not be able to understand the literature within these books. Today, I want you to know what exactly lies within the books that are considered sacred right after the Holy Quran. In every mosque, or in the majority of mosques, and the majority of Muslim libraries and schools, the Holy Quran is placed right next to Sahih al-Bukhari. That is because Sahih al-Bukhari interprets the Holy Quran. Especially volume 3 from Sahih al-Bukhari that focuses on the Quranic interpretation. It teaches us Muslims how to live our lives, what ethics we need to abide by, and what exactly makes us good human beings. This is the manual that we have. Now I understand that some will say, well, the Bukhari is a Sunni author, and the Bukhari is respected by Sunnis, and I'm a Shi'i. So how is it that the Bukhari applies to me in my daily life? The answer is very simple. The Bukhari has influenced all of the tafsirs, the interpretations of the Holy Quran, for all Islamic denominations, regardless whether they be Ahmadiyya, Sunni, Zaydi, or Shia. All Shia scholars take from interpretations of the Holy Quran that depended upon the Bukhari as a source in one way or another. This book has influenced every school of thought, and even grand ayatollahs within the Shia school of thought, such as Fadlullah, Khamenei, Khomeini, and also lecturers such as Ahmad al-Wa'ili. All of them refer to this book and they abide by it. Some may call them undercover Sunni, undercover Wahhabi. That is understandable. But that's not what I am saying. I am saying this book is a book that has led to the deaths of many people. This is a formula of war. This is what has made Islam a religion of war. This is what needs to be banned. Now obviously, with 4 volumes between my hands, I'm not going to be able to analyze each and every volume within this episode. But we are going to skim through these 4 volumes to find out what exactly is this book like, what was the line of thinking of this author, what on earth was he thinking when he compiled this, and why are the Muslims silent? But before I come into speaking about the Bukhari, it is worth asking a question. How come the Muslims who don't speak Arabic, other than the Imams, and how come the Muslims who don't speak Arabic completely, and how come non-Muslims, university teachers who have studied Islam and received degrees in Islam, how come they haven't come across this? Why is it that we are now learning about this Bukhari? The answer is very simple. When you go to a Muslim bookstore and you say, can you give me a copy of the Bukhari? You would expect to get this, but instead they will give you this. They'll give you 1 volume that is made up of Arabic and English. They have cherry-picked and selected for you and translated for you what they want you to read from Sahih al-Bukhari. They do not want you to read everything within Sahih al-Bukhari. As you can see, they have titled it Sahih al-Bukhari, the early years of Islam. And they explain and translate. But this is not al-Bukhari. This is a small compilation from what they want you to know about Bukhari. This is the real Bukhari. We who seek knowledge want to know what forms this radical ideology. We want to know what's in the book. Therefore, let's get into it. Muslims go around the world rioting, killing people, because they believe that their Prophet Muhammad has been insulted. I'd just like to double check if the voice is actually reaching you. Brothers, my dear friends, brothers and sisters, if you can hear me clearly before I get into the topic, can you please type 1 for me? Just some of you give me 1. I'm reading the comments. Just a 1, thank you very much. If you can hear me, can you please confirm? Okay, excellent. We've received confirmation. The Muslims say that Prophet Muhammad is the best role model. They say that Prophet Muhammad is the best human being and that we should all follow him. I, as a Muslim, believe that. Why? Because I believe that the Prophet Muhammad, that I believe in, my version of the Prophet Muhammad, is someone who respects the Jews and loves the Christians and honors the atheist and allows churches and synagogues within his government. The problem with my version of Muhammad is that only a minority follow it. The majority follow a different Muhammad. And when I say majority, I do not mean 5 to 50%. I mean 95% of the Muslims believe in the Muhammad, the Prophet Muhammad portrayed in the Bukhari. Nowhere else. Nowhere else. All books of history refer to the Bukhari. So let's find out, what really is Muhammad like according to the Bukhari, according to the faith of the Grand Mufti, according to the faith of television celebrities that are Muslim in this country, according to the faith of activists within America. All of these Muslims who go and say that Prophet Muhammad was an environmental activist, a human rights activist. Okay, I don't disagree, but is that the Muhammad you believe in? Or are you changing fates every time you're subjected to a question that you cannot answer? So you change faith in order to answer that question. Prophet Muhammad, that the majority of the people speak about and fight for and defend, is not the Muhammad they believe in as an ideology. There's a big difference between the Prophet Muhammad in the actual sacred scriptures and the Prophet Muhammad that is portrayed as a prophet to the West by 95% of the Muslims. The Muhammad that is being portrayed in the West is a Muhammad I reject. I do not believe in that prophet. I believe in a version that the minority believe in. And this is what reformers want. Reformers say, get rid of these role models that you have formed and you believe in. Get rid of them and start rethinking what a prophet should be like, because that will influence your ethics and your culture as Muslims. But they do not want that. They want to stick to the Muhammad that they have been brought up listening to. But the sad news is, it's all a fake. The Muhammad Linda Sarsour mentions is not the Muhammad she believes in. Today, I'd like to show you what exactly is written within these books regarding Prophet Muhammad, regarding their noble prophet. What exactly do these books say? I'll start with volume 1. And I know the techniques of the radicals. These books are a big surprise to them. That now Imam Tawhidi is now alive, showing the West what these books contain. And the Imams, as I speak, do not underestimate this. As I speak, the Imams are contacting each other right now, without a doubt. And they will hold an emergency meeting as to what to do with Imam Tawhidi. Because I know how my community will be. So before they start saying this is a fake cover and the inside is not the real Bukhari, I'll have to show you up close that this is the Bukhari. This is Sahih al-Bukhari. And this here is volume 1. I'll show you the license of the publication. Just for the record, you can pause the video later on. This was printed in Beirut, Lebanon, and it was printed by the publisher Dari al-Almiya. It was printed in 2014, and it is titled Sahih al-Bukhari, The Correct and Authentic Traditions of al-Bukhari, and it contains prophetic hadith. This is volume 1. This is exactly what I was taught. Let me show you why I had to rebel against the school of thought that once upon a time wanted me to be a missionary to the West. So you can understand why these statements are being issued against me, saying I'm a fake. I'm a fake because I left this. We don't need to go too deep into the book. First volume. And let's look at the first 100 pages within the book. Page 45 of this very book, volume 1, and segment 5, it is called Bab al-Takhfifi fi al-Wudu'. It speaks about the purification and purity of oneself before engaging in any form of prayer. Muslims wash themselves 5 times a day, meaning they wash the face, they wash the hands first, then the face, Then they come to the two arms and wipe on the head, and then they wipe on the feet. This is called the ablution. It's called the wudu. The wudu. It's also pronounced wuzu or wudu. It is a must. There is no prayer accepted in Islam without that purification beforehand. They mention the Prophet Muhammad. They themselves, 95% of the Muslims believe in this. They say that the Messenger of God, Muhammad, came to a house, and I will recite in Arabic. ثم اضطجع فنام حتى نفخ. He laid down, slept, and began to snore. ثم أتاه المنادي. Then the caller for prayer, the person who wakes him up for prayer, came to the Prophet Muhammad. And he said to him, it is time to pray. فقام معه إلى الصلاة. Therefore the Prophet Muhammad woke up and went with the person who woke him up to go and pray together. فصلى ولم يتوضأ. And Prophet Muhammad prayed without washing himself, without purifying himself. This shows you that the Prophet who taught these 95% of the Muslims to wash themselves before praying, he himself does not wash himself. He himself is a hypocrite. And he himself has no prayer that is accepted. This is what they believe in. This is the hypocrisy within the Bukhari. Now we Shia, we don't even believe the Prophet needs wudu to begin with. The Prophet and Imam Ali, they don't need wudu. They are pure. Jesus, Moses, all messengers of God are pure. Yes, Umar ibn al-Khattab needs wudu. Umar ibn al-Khattab, who spread Islam by the sword, he needs wudu. He needs purification. As for a prophet, it doesn't make sense. So number one we have here, let's make a list of this, and I advise you to make a list along with me. So we have a prophet who is not pure when praying. If we move to page number 47, segment 14, it says here what is much worse than what we had just listened to. It states that a man by the name of Abdullah bin Umar, he says, فَرَأَيْتُ رَسُولَ اللَّهِ يَقْضِي حَاجَتَهِ مُسْتَدْبِرَ الْقِبْلَةِ مُسْتَقْبِلَ الشَّامِ, which means I saw the messenger of God, I saw the apostle of God in public performing his number one and number two in the middle of the street while facing Sham. Sham basically means Palestine. In another tradition, it says that he was seen مستقبل بيت المقدس. He was seen facing towards Masjid al-Aqsa. Now we have the Palestinians, they're fighting for Masjid al-Aqsa. They're fighting for the Aqsa Mosque in Israel. And here the same Muslims tell us that their Prophet used to do number one and number two facing towards that direction. Deliberately. This is the Prophet you believe in. And this is the Bakri version of the Prophet. This is the Umari version. And a prophet from God in the middle of the street doing number one, number two for everyone to see him. And it gets reported in history after 1,400 years. And you're proud to be following such a prophet?